Good evening, students. I will go to the next topic in the Python. Okay. We completed the object-oriented concept in the Python. We have seen the different types of object implementation of our classes, and we have seen how to implement the different features in the object-oriented programming. Okay, using that, we implemented the different types of features and reusability feature of the object-oriented programming and polymorphism feature of the object-oriented programming, encapsulation or data hiding feature of the object oriented programming. Okay, so whatever the different types of classes we are using in the Python, each and every one are the objects, and we have the built-in classes, and for that built-in classes we can create the required objects. Okay, so this gives the brief introduction of the object oriented programming in the previous sessions. Okay, next we'll go on to the next topic in the Python is the exceptions. Okay, so first we'll see what is mean by the exception and how we can do the working of exceptions. Okay, so the exception is nothing but whenever we are doing any mistake in the program, okay, that mistake leads to the exceptions. Okay, so this generally called as whenever the Python wants to communicate with the user to inform about the error, okay, that is done by the exceptions. That is whenever the any error is occurred and which is handled by the Python, and that is to be informed to the user, okay, then it uses the exceptions and shows the message. Okay, so this exception is also a object, okay, because we have the built-in built-in classes for the exceptions, and for that exceptions it creates an object, and that is shows the required message. Okay, so and whenever this exception is to be raised explicitly, okay, then we need to use a statement is the rise. Okay, next we'll see the what is actually the meaning of this exception and others. Okay, okay, this exception can also be called as an error. Okay, that is whenever we are doing any mistake in the program, okay, that leads to the error. Okay, these errors are of three types: compile time error, runtime error, and logical error. Compile time error is nothing but that is a syntactical error. Okay, that is doing a syntax mistakes in the program, like indentation errors, or not closing a double quotes for a string, or not properly ending the lines, or not properly giving a syntax like if statements, while statements, syntaxes. Okay, those all comes into the compile time errors. Okay, these can be handled by the programmer. They will correct the compile time error, then only the program execute. So the next type of error is the runtime error. So this runtime error is not displayed at the time of compilation. Okay, whenever you execute the program, okay, then whatever the value you are giving at the runtime, okay, based on that value, your program may be rise the error or may terminate your program. Okay, that we'll call it as the runtime error. Okay, and this is handled by the our PVM, that is Python Virtual Machine. Okay, this handles that runtime errors, and whenever there is a runtime error, it just terminates our program. Okay, say for example, we need to divide the two numbers a and b, and you are giving us some value for the a like 2 or 3, and for the b if you are giving a 0. Okay, then you will be get the divide by 0 exception or error. Okay, that we will call it as the runtime error. That is at the time of executing the program, your program is terminated due to the value. So we can also call the runtime error is also a value error. Okay, due to the input values of the program, okay, the program is terminated. Okay, okay, this is considered as a serious error compared to the other errors. Okay, why? Because whenever you are preparing a software, if the user is giving a wrong values and your that software is terminated abnormally, okay, then we need to handle that is as a programmer we need to handle that runtime error, and we need to provide the solution for the runtime errors. Okay, so the third type of error is logical errors. These errors are due to the logic of the program. Okay, these cannot be handled at the time of compilation, not cannot be handled at the runtime. Okay, but this gives us a wrong output. Okay, say for example, you has to do the division of the two numbers, but you are giving a symbol as multiplication symbol. Okay, then it leads to the logical error. Okay, so next we'll see how to work with these errors. Okay, the compile time errors will check at the compilation time. The logical error will check whenever we get the output, we'll check the logical errors. Okay, but only the errors we cannot expect or we cannot make sure is the runtime errors. So these are the errors which are treated as a serious error and which are need to be provided some alternate solution. Okay. So now the word exception comes into the another name for the runtime error. Okay, the runtime error can also be called as an exception. Okay, so this is handled by the programmer to provide the alternate solution for the exceptions. Okay, so these exceptions to be guessed by the programmer. Okay, that is whenever they are writing any program, they need to guess whether they may be the exception raised or may not be raised. Okay, if there is a exception chances there is any rise of exception chances, okay, then they has to provide the alternate solution, okay, without terminating of a program, or we can do some security precautions or data loss. We can reduce the data loss by providing the alternate solution. Okay, so this process of handling the exception and providing the alternate solution is called as the exception handling. Okay, and the word robust and strong means we need to provide a robust and a strong exception handler. Okay, so that the user feel that our software is a secure software and it doesn't get any data loss. Okay, next. So for this exception handling, we require the different types of statements to handle these errors and to guess the particular code as the error prone code or error occurred code. Okay, for that we'll specify the some statements for specifying of this exception handling. The first statement is called as the try statement. Okay, here the try statement is nothing but it contains the code or statements which where we can expect the exception. That is wherever we are expecting the exception. Okay, that statement, that set of statements we will specify after this try keyword or try statement. Okay, so we'll start with the try keyword and colon. Okay, after this indentation, whatever the statements you are mentioning, okay, those all are checked for the exceptions. Okay, if there any exception occurred in those statements, then it will be handled by the programmer and can provide the solution. So whatever the statements which are required to be checked, those we can specify after the try statement. Okay, okay, it has two forms. We can have the one try statement and multiple solutions for that single try statement, or we can have a one try statement with exactly one solution is called with the finally. Multiple solutions are except clauses. Okay, so we'll see these how to write. And okay, so for specifying of this try statements and others, the syntax is try colon, and next are the set of statements where we are expecting the exception. Okay, once if there is any exception is raised in this set of statements, okay, then the related to that exception raised, okay, will mention the except blocks. That is the keyword is the except, and within the square brackets will mention the exception, specify the expression name and the target function or some variable or something, and then will mention the solution related statements. Okay, based on the raised exception, it comes to here except block, and here will mention the exception name. So based on this raised exception, it comes to that particular except block and execute the statements. Okay. So else block. If there is no exception raised, that is the try statements are completely executed and there is no exception raised, then after executing a try block, it comes to the else block and here it executes the statements. Okay, this is optional. Okay, if exception is not raised, then whatever the statements you want to provide after the try block, those you can specify in the else block. Okay, say if you don't require any statements to be specified after try, you need not to mention the else block. Next, sorry. So the second case is we can mention without except blocks, we can write the finally block also. So finally block is the block which is executed even the exception raised or may not be raised. Okay, if the exception is raised, then it execute the statements up to the exception raised and then execute the finally block statements. If the exception is not raised, then also after completing of a try block, it comes to the finally block and execute the statements. Okay, so generally we'll use a finally block to specify the statements which need to be executed even the exception raised or not may not raised. Okay, the statements to be executed before exiting of our program. That is before closing of our program. We want to execute some statements that must be executed. Okay, those we can mention in the finally block. Okay, next. Okay, this is a small example. Okay, say for example, I'm opening a file with a open statement, some file name, and in the write mode, we are opening the file. Okay, so and we are doing something with that particular file. Okay, say we are trying to read the file data or we are writing some information into the file. Okay, after doing this, okay, just we are going for the finally and f dot close. Okay, that is the this particular statements may be executed or may not be executed. That is maybe that there is some exception raised in these statements. Okay, but irrespective of this exception raised or may not raised, it executes the f dot close. That is before ending of this program, the file to be closed. Okay, irrespective of a exception. Okay, this type of a statements we can mention in the finally block. Okay, these are the some of the exceptions which are already available in the Python. Okay, so base exception is the class which is a base class for the all the exceptions, and there's another class standard error class. Okay, this is also base class for the built-in exceptions. Some of the built-in exceptions are like this: arithmetic error, which is raised for the divide by zero; floating point error. Okay, that is whenever you are trying to store the float value in any another variable, okay, which doesn't support the floating point values, then it will get the floating point error. And overflow error, okay, where you may get the overflow error is like say whenever you are doing additions or subtractions, okay, overflow error may rise. And zero division error, okay, this is also for same arithmetic errors. In the part of arithmetic error we'll get the zero division error also, that is divide by zero. Next, okay, some of the errors are like attribute error. Okay, where if you are calling a function with a less number of attributes or with more number of attributes, then you'll get the attribute error. Okay, environment error. This is generally from outside of the Python, like IO error. The IO devices are not ready to accept your request. OS errors, Windows based errors, and some import errors. If you are trying to import a package which is not available, there is import error. Lookup error, like you are trying to access some element which whose index is out of a range. Okay, then you'll get the key errors and index errors. Okay, and something like name errors, unbound local errors, syntax errors like indentation errors and tab errors. Okay. Okay, there's some example. Okay, we are reading a file and read the line from the file, print that particular line and close the line. Okay, here you may get the error is IO error. if the file is not exist.